is going on, everybody? And once again, thank you so much for stopping by at the channel. So let me get you up to speed really quick. Guys, you're not gonna believe what just happened here. I was cruising, everything was good to go. And check it out. That's all fuel. It's not really a huge deal, but it sucks because I'm 3 hours from home. This is my very first real issue with this truck in a while too. But it's the return line right off the top of the injector. All right, guys, it's the next day. It was late when I got home, but the good thing is it made it home. I got tons of parts, so I had extra return line. So what I went ahead and did is just replace the return line. It was simple. I just popped it out, put a new one in, and we were good to go. It's not leaking. Everything is good. I'm gonna go ahead and roll this monster off the trailer really quick. So this will be the last time that I buy cheap eBay parts for the Duramax. What I went ahead and did is I ordered true AC Delco return lines. And today we're gonna go ahead and tear this thing down and install brand new return lines on the Duramax and see if it fixes our problem. Obviously it will. But in my case, what ended up happening was I was driving from Indiana when we picked up the LMM Duramax for the channel, brought it back up here, and then all of a sudden I found myself stranded because it was dumping diesel fuel all over the place. I pulled off to the side of the road and noticed that there was diesel fuel everywhere. So I don't want to draw this out, but once I pulled off to the side of the road to inspect what happened, the cheap return line that I purchased, I'd say about, I don't know, it was about 2 years ago, failed on me. So yeah, I bit the bullet and I purchased one of the true AC Delco return lines for the injectors. The biggest reason why I purchased the aftermarket return lines on the injectors is because it comes with the metal fittings, which in my opinion, I don't understand why GM decided to cheap out and put plastic return line fittings on the injectors. So I purchased the metal ones. It came with the return line that comes with the metal fittings, and I can imagine that kit that I purchased, they probably cheaped out on those. What I ended up doing is taking the new Duramax and swapping. So I decided to haul this truck back because it was having problems, and I used my nice new fancy Duramax to bring me back up 4 hours north to Michigan, and I got home. So here I am right now. I decided to replace that when I got it home, and then all of a sudden, the other side started leaking. So in today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and replace both sides, fire it up, and I should be good to go. Luckily, these are all pre-bent, pre-cut, and I don't have to worry about anything. So this won't take too long, but I'm gonna go ahead and fire up the Duramax. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm finding on this side of the truck. Really interesting. And as you guys can see, that's the leak right there. It's kind of hard to get the camera in there, but it's this first injector right here in front of the motor. So we're gonna go ahead and unfortunately to pull all this HSP goodness off of here and get right down to it. But we're also gonna be doing this side as well. Stay tuned, guys. Make sure you watch till the end. Let's see if this fixes our problem. One thing also I wanted to mention was my injector balance rates are way off. And it makes perfect sense because if it's not returning the way it should, then of course the injectors are going to be a little out of whack. So let's go ahead and tear this thing apart. So just to get a better idea of where I'm finding this right here, tell it's very wet if you see this in person. If I was to start this up, it's probably going to leak from right there. There's that fuel right there. So, this right here is blown out, and this is exactly where it was leaking from, is right there. And right there. See how it's all frayed and blown out? As far as I'm concerned, I could just replace this and get away with it. But I really can't chance it because with these expanding and contracting constantly while I'm driving, I really don't want to risk anything. These are the upgraded metal fittings for your return lines. They go on the top of your injector. They just clip right in. It's a pretty cool idea, but we're going to go ahead and return it back to stock because I've never had a problem until I put these on. Okay, guys, so this side is good to go. All the clips are in, and this is connected, and this kind of legs off into the Schrader valve, which is this bad boy right here. So we'll go ahead and attack the other side right now. Alright, so I know I didn't video the entire process because there's really not much to show other than plugging these things in. Kind of time consuming, but I have both sides done. It really didn't take me too long though. And right now I'm just buttoning everything back up. I'm going to go ahead and fire this thing up and make sure that there's no leaks. We're also going to go ahead and take it on a test drive. Give her a few rips as well, just to make sure it's all holding tight. You know, luckily with return lines, there's not a lot of pressure. You know, it's not like on the high pressure side where you got somewhere in upwards of 10,000 to 18,000 PSI in some cases. Because if you blew a high pressure line, it wouldn't be pretty. Oh, by the way, if you guys are interested in purchasing anything from the HSPDiesel.com website, they did give me a coupon code. Most of you guys do know that already. It's Truckmaster, all one word. But I highly recommend this stuff. First of all, more room for activities, of course, weight reduction. And on top of that, when you're removing parts, it's just so much easier to get them off. Not only does it look good, but I like the way it flows. It just induces air into the turbo so much better than this RDS 68mm. It's kind of a big charger from Ryan's Diesel Service for what I normally do on a daily basis. Because if I'm not mistaken, a 68mm turbo can hold up to about 750 to 800 horsepower. We're not even nowhere close to that with this build right here. I think we may be about 610, 620 horsepower with this truck. Last time we put this thing on a dyno was a couple years ago, but that was before all the cool upgrades. And I believe I was at 568 horsepower, 1,100 foot-pounds of torque. But in my opinion, guys, if I was to go back, I probably would do a 64 or a 66mm turbo. It's going to help me with EGTs, but on top of that, it's going to spool up so much quicker than this. But I'll tell you what, guys, when I get on it, and we actually get some of this turbo going, this thing pulls like a freight train. It really does. This thing will put you right in your seat, especially with these big old 35-inch tires and these 22-inch rims. Just plugging in this mass airflow sensor, and we'll go ahead and get it fired up. Gentlemen, we are back in the truck after installing the return lines. So I've been on the road for about, I'd say about 15 minutes already. Now that check engine light that you guys are seeing is actually a glow plug. I need to replace that. I should have done it while I was there, but really no big deal. The weather is definitely getting warmer, but I do want to give her a little rip, just nothing crazy. A couple things that I want you guys to see is the fuel rail pressure and the boost. All right, let's see what happens here. Good. That wasn't even all the way to the floor. She's a runner, man. This truck really moves. I love this LBZ. I know that we had a few issues back there, but that was due to cheap return lines. I really haven't had a lot of problems with this Duramax. I'm glad that I have a good peace of mind that I have some good quality return lines and that they're in there correctly. All right, guys, we are home. And let's check these injector balance rates. I've been driving for about 25-30 minutes or so. By the way, I highly recommend these Edge CTS 3 or Edge CTS 2 monitors. Look at that. Before it was pretty concerning. Injector number 1 was at a 3 to about a 4, depending on what I was doing. So now I'm all within tolerance. Thing with injector balance rates with a Duramax, anything within the spectrum of -4 or +4, anything outside of that spectrum is not good. It's not horrible, but it's not good. So if it's reading like a 10 or a 7, clearly something needs to be addressed. But perfect situation, everything should be zeros across the board. What it's doing is it's giving or adding to the injectors fuel in order to compensate for all the other injectors. That's what it's doing right now. But like I said, guys, anything 10, 8, 11, something nuts like that really needs to be addressed. But mine have really cleared up. I'm really happy with this. One thing I did want to show you, this is the old return line, and like I said, I purchased these because they had metal fittings versus the plastic fittings, but the return line that they gave me was pretty chintzy, and it's interesting how it swelled. That's a lot bigger than it was. Hot and cold, especially where I live, these little rubber lines right here eventually start to go bad on you. I only ran these for about 2 years, so they didn't last very long. Full red is finally reliable, and I am so happy about it. I've been driving the WifeMax quite a bit just because I got to put some miles on that truck. I haven't had a single issue with it, which is good. I can finally get this thing back on the road. I'm really pumped about it because we have some more trips to take to Wisconsin. And of course, I'm going to be taking the LBZ there. It's about a 7-hour drive for me one way. So we'll be putting some miles on it. Most of the time, I'm usually pulling a trailer with another vehicle behind me. I'd say the next time I head up to Wisconsin at Ryan's Diesel Service Kodiak truck, we're going to be rebuilding the 47RE with some awesome goodies from Garen. The guys at Garen, I actually talked to them on the phone, and they really set us up with some good billet stuff. So stay tuned for that video. I hope you're just as pumped as I am. Last time we did a real transmission video, which, by the way, I think a lot of you guys watched that video. We did an Allison 6-speed transmission rebuild, 850 horsepower with all the Garen stuff. We did that because we wanted to show you the process of exactly how to do that. But one thing that I love about Kodiak trucks transfer cases is that they're just absolutely indestructible. By the way, a lot of you guys are asking questions about these Anthem wheels, 20x10s that we were doing the giveaway with. March 18th is the day that the sweepstakes company pulls the names. I'm going to have 3 names drawn. One's going to be for the tires, and then the other 2 are going to be the winners for the light bar giveaway. So stay tuned for that. Again, March 18th is when I find out who actually won these things. They'll be drawing those names. So we're really pumped about that. I can't wait to ship these bad boys to the winner. Also guys, stay tuned for that dump bed conversion kit. I can't contain myself. I'm so excited to finally see how this thing actually works. We're doing a compound P-pump 24 valve. The guys at Miller Engine are actually finishing up that block, and eventually this thing will be back here and we can finally get some goodies on here. Future upgrade with the fueling is going to be, of course, an AirDog lift pump. We're going to be installing that. What makes this very nice is the fact that this is a frame. So it's going to be a little bit easier to install some of the stuff. I still need to put the fuel tank on there. I still have a lot to do with this thing. Man, I am so pumped about this build right here. I'm tired of looking at just a frame. I can't wait to finally get the drivetrain put on this thing and maybe even start it up before we put the cab on. That'd be pretty cool. So, hey guys, that's all the time that I have for today. Again, I hope we learned something about injector return lines. When you're installing new injectors, don't cheap out on the return lines. Lessons learned from me. The whole goal with this channel right here is to share my humility in case there's something that I may have done wrong. I use a lot of different types of diesel parts on these vehicles. I test them, I try them out. Sometimes I put them to the ultimate test. And I also do reviews on them to kind of teach and help you guys. And of course, repairs. On top of that, let me know what you think about the return line issue. Have you ever had that issue before? Let me know in the comments. See you on the next video. Stay tuned.